Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wild. Today we are talking about the DoorDash Catering Program is confusing. The DoorDash Catering Program is supposed to be one of the top tier perks for platinum drivers according to DoorDash, but for some drivers, it's actually creating more problems than profit. Now, I haven't personally worked inside of this program for, I'm sure you can deduce what reasons, but based on the past systems that DoorDash had, such as DoorDash Drive, and what drivers are reporting, there are some clear patterns here. So in this video, we are talking about why this person believes that the DoorDash catering program is confusing, what they are saying versus how it actually is, and everything in between. But before we do that, let's go over a quick disclaimer. The content of this video does not contain and is never intended to be legal, business, financial, tax, or health advice of any kind. This video is for entertainment, educational, and informational purposes only. It is advised that you conduct your own research and consult with qualified professionals before applying anything you find online. I also want to be clear that everything that we're going to be going over is very market to market and case by case. What applies to me in my market may not apply to you. I also want to be clear that regardless of what I say in this video, I am by no means discrediting what the person who emailed me on this subject is saying. There are a lot of anomalies and challenges with every piece of technology. I just recorded this multiple times because for some reason my computer just gave me a problem just recording this. And that is never to say that their pain doesn't exist and their experience is incorrect. I am just responding to their email in the same way that I would respond to anybody else's. So with that said, let's get started. The email. I recently received an email from one of my subscribers, Leon Bose. Thank you so much for emailing me about this and making this post and video possible, because this highlights some of the real issues with the program. So let's take a look. Hi, this program is very confusing. The first time I accepted a catering offer, the offer was scheduled for an 11:15 pickup the very next day. I schedule every day, 7:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. the next morning, and I was not allowed to start my dash at 7:30 a.m. I had to cancel the cater before I could dash. So one of the critiques that I gave both DoorDash Drive and this new catering program is that combining this with DoorDash's existing scheduling system creates conflicts that actually cost the driver money, which is why you need to adjust your schedule blocks around the catering order blocks so that way you don't force yourself to lose money for a single order. A large order only makes sense if it actually increases your profit, not if it forces you to give up an entire block. Just think of how much money he could have made in that schedule block before he had to release it. One day, I received a nice catering offer during a normal dash. Tried to accept it, but kept getting a message I was already dashing. By the time I ended my current dash, it was gone. This is a major problem because it means the system is actively preventing you from taking better paying opportunities on the platform. One of the best parts about the old system was that catering orders were still part of the main delivery pool after it was not accepted via the scheduling system. So you didn't have to jump through extra scheduling hoops just to access them because it would just make its way over there after a while. And if you were part of the program, you had priority to accept it before it went anywhere else. However, based on that description, that either is no longer possible or that it was only available in the scheduled order tab or something. And there was once again overlap. And if that's how it works, then in some cases, the system might actually be way worse than the old Drive program. At least if you were on DoorDash Drive back in the day, you can receive them in the overall delivery pool, but in this case, it sounds like they're just not worth it. The only offers so far have been $8 plus $3 setup. 2 were short mileage, so I sat in the store parking lot and was offered both and ended up with no tip. I've always been a top or a platinum, but I don't get any good catering orders anymore, and I was invited into the current program, Leon Bode. Now, I know that may not sound great, but context matters here. I know a lot of companies that not only offer less as a base rate, but there have been ongoing concerns in the industry about how tips are handled across different platforms. Jackrabbit Deliveries threatened to do that at one point to me specifically, and I spoke about them to ezCater on the subject. Many members of the RMDA, including Jeff Lago, Heather Radu, Tanner Bauman, Kevin Polk, and Paul Burrell, stonewalled my attempts to find members of their nonprofit organization who were stealing tips from drivers for ezCater deliveries, and this is becoming a more widespread issue. That said, the full story for that is for a different day. The point is that it may seem lower, and it doesn't justify the customer not tipping and other platforms for stealing them, but nevertheless, it is better from a baseline perspective. The problem with Platinum, as I have made it evidently clear already, and as I'm sure you have experienced, being a Platinum driver can be expensive, because you may end up taking low-paying orders just to maintain the status. You say yourself that you had to cancel an entire block to take this order. How much could you have made during that entire block? No, sorry, you said you had a catering offer you had to unassign, and you had to start at 7:30. So if you had to choose between the two and you ended up choosing the main block, how much would you have lost? How many crap orders did you have to take just to be eligible to receive them? I understand the idea of making more money per order, but that doesn't mean you're always making more money overall. Catering specific companies. And this is where drivers need to think bigger, because DoorDash isn't the only way to access catering orders. First and foremost, there are some more well-known companies such as Deliver That, Delivered, or currently known as Expedite, Skipcart, Zifty, etc. They're all offering catering opportunities all the time. Then there are companies that are within the RMDA, as we've talked about. I know of a bunch, but each of them have their own market, so you have to do your own research to see which companies are accepting new drivers. But regardless of whomever you decide to partner with, especially if you're working with a company that sends you ezCater orders, it is vital that you make sure that you're receiving the full amount that you're supposed to. And it's a growing concern that companies have been scraping gratuities from ezCater orders, especially since their only form of auditing is quarterly spot checks, and they're not even all that effective because they're still getting away with it. DoorDash has stated, even in pilot program discussions with drivers, that tips from ezCater orders may be pooled. But if ezCater requires 100% of tips to go to drivers, then something in that system just doesn't add up. Which is why I made the ezCater tip verification form, where participating companies within our internal governance and transparency program would verify which apps are giving you the full amount and which ones were trying to keep some for themselves. Because accountability and transparency is vital in this gig economy. And that tool is available on my website. It's free to use. The link is in the description, so feel free to check that out. But regardless, it is important to not keep all of your financial eggs in one basket by being too dependent on one platform. Final thoughts. Based on everything we're seeing so far, it's hard to see how this system improves things for drivers long term. It seems to be even clunkier than before, and I can't tell if it's intentional or by some contractual design or obligation. DoorDash also seems to have higher expectations for people to receive more orders that are worth it, since they put this program behind an acceptance rate wall that is Dasher rewards. At this point, drivers should seriously consider whether chasing this program is even worth it, or if their time is better spent on more consistent income sources. Remember, no one is going to look out for your financial interests better than you are. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, check out my website, drivenwyld.com, if you'd like to learn more about some of the services and gig platforms we have talked about in the past and are offering to gig workers today. Once again, thank you so much for watching.